Okay, I hope you all hear me. It would be great if someone could confirm that there's an audio and it's working great. Okay, perfect. Okay, so it's 9:01 in Poland, so it's time to start. So welcome to my webinar about building service catalog in Jira Service Management. My name is Krzysztof Skropada and I'm part of the Appsvio company, a partner of the year for 2023 in the ITSM App Solutions category. This presentation will take about 20 to 25 minutes. So after that, I will answer on all questions that will be waiting for me in the chat. So feel free to raise the questions and let's start. So when I started working on this presentation, I asked myself this question many times: what is a service catalog? And I was trying to figure out how to explain what the service catalog is. And then I quickly realized there are so many service catalogs around us. We all need to go to the dental from time to time, usually for the teeth filling, but sometimes we need more complex service like root canal treatment, right? Unfortunately, or fortunately, well, it depends, it's not available at all locations because it requires special skills and tools. So how do we know what services are available at the specific location? Dental centers usually provide a list of available services with prices. It's like a menu in the restaurant. In Poland, we have public services available for citizen in something that we call citizen portal. We can apply for a copy of the driver license in case of the loss or check the driver's credentials. The services the government offers to us, it's nothing else like a service catalog. Last analogy is a restaurant menu that I mentioned earlier, and this is my favorite example that I will describe in details a little bit later. So let's move on to the next section. Let's try to find answer on the main question: what is the service catalog? And ServiceNow defines service catalog as a structured view of available services and offerings. IBM says about offerings to all types of customers. And Atlassian also defines as a list of services offered by a company. They also mentioned that services can be offered by non-technical teams like marketing. So they all are very similar to each other. I could summarize this and define the service catalog as a list of all services that organization offers to its users. Let's go back to the restaurant menu example that I mentioned. Take a look at these two menus. So would you quickly find a good meal for you? Are you able to quickly screen the menu to know what the restaurants offer? I don't think so, because I can't. It's one of the worst menu designs I have ever seen. Now let's take a look at a little bit better version of the menu. Maybe it's not like perfect, but we have some categorizations, we have some photos, we have prices, and it's definitely a better version. So the question is here, how could we define a good menu? And there are some tips. I think the most important is that meals selection are agreed with the chief kitchen. Imagine meals in the menu that kitchen can't provide. Many people could be very upset in this situation. From the customer perspective, it's very important how the menu is designed. Menu categorization, meals categorization with the correct order is very important. Within each category, meals should be well described, including the price, all ingredients, and list of allergies. Sometimes there's a photo of the meal to better understand how it looks like, but it's probably more common for the fast foods than the restaurants. There are many factors like a good graphic design or even the paper type, but the process of creating well-designed restaurant menu and the IT service catalog is very, very similar. We could summarize this in the 4 basic steps. Plan for the catalog design process, decide who is in charge of the entire catalog and services, define deadlines, define who defines requirements. And this is very, very important. Step 2, create catalog structure, define a list of available services, define how customers will create service requests from the catalog. Will it be only portal channel or email channel or maybe something else? Step 3, it's set up the workflows, define statuses, transitions, SLAs, teams, and many more. And the last step would be the maintenance and improve the catalog, because the list of services can change during the time. Some can be paused, some can be updated or changed. Some new services could be required. So the service catalog could represent the company operations maturity. When it comes to Jira, we need to consider who our customers are. In other words, who can create the ticket from the catalog. This could be there could be many questions here, but the most important probably is, are JSM customers part of our organization? Why it's so important? Because if they are only the internal customers, it means they all have paid Jira accounts. You have 2 options, basically. You can implement the IT service catalog in Jira or in Portal with the JSM. It's possible to do it in pure Jira. I saw it a few times, but I don't recommend it in most situations. It's not about the permissions or more licenses you need to buy for Jira. It's more about the place that you can use for the technical and the non-technical users. It's called the portal. And remember that usually not all customers have a technical background. There are, of course, many other features in JSM, like the SLAs, for example, but to be honest, the portal is a game changer. If you have at least one customer who shouldn't have the Jira seat, then you have only one option to provide the service catalog. It's JSM with the portal. Why? Because the portal allows to create requests by external users, and this is what we need in this situation. This is what we need for this type of customers. So let's deep dive into the portal. This is a portal structure. From the top, we have the help center. Then we have a list of the projects that are available to the customers. Within the project, we have request types that can be bundled into groups. And each request type contains a list of the fields and custom fields. We call it form. And this is all in a vanilla JSM. So we have groups, request types, and request forms. And let's take a look at this example. It's a very simple situation. We have a very simple field selection. Our catalog root is a request type called report debug. Then we have a simple application selection, as simple as possible, right? Let's take a look at a little bit more complex situation. So what if bugs could be reported to specific modules and each module has many versions? Then we would need to this kind of structure. So this is an extra two levels compared to the first example. And let's make it even more complicated with a little bit different use case. So let's imagine an access request to the application. I have combined the category and app selection into one cascading field, but still, how to implement the rest levels in a nice way. I will talk about the limitations of this approach very soon. You probably could quickly come up with the more and new ideas for the complex service catalog. So let's see what options we have. There are 4 different approaches to create catalog implementation, service catalog implementation in the JSM. They all have the pros and cons, so it's very important to understand how they work to choose the best solution. As we can't modify the groups and the request type concept from the JSM, the request form is the only place we can customize. Let's take a look closer at the first option. It's called Service Catalog as a standard custom field. You saw earlier 3 examples of this approach built with the standard custom fields. And the idea is to have a separate custom field for each level. This approach quickly became not efficient as we can't hide custom fields for paths that are not relevant in the current level selection. In other words, all custom fields levels has to be visible all the time. So this approach will be okay for the flat service catalog tree, but you will be in trouble if additional levels will be required. And migrating one service catalog concept into another one might be a nightmare. And I recommend something that can be a little bit more scalable. And things to consider with this approach, each additional level significantly increase the complexity. More custom fields may impact user experience during searching or reporting. And it's not natively supported to hide fields that shouldn't be visible in a given context. Second option for the service catalog in JSM, service catalog as a forms. And to be frank, I was very skeptical about using forms at the beginning. I didn't like it, like many people probably, but the last version is not bad. There are some downsides like lack of the forms, edit on create issue from the agent view, but in general, it's not bad. And the most important probably is the fact that you can add display conditions to a specific fields, which is very, very cool. Things to consider with this solution. In fact, it's very similar concept to the first one with the standard custom fields. So the downsides are very similar. Each level needs to be a separate field or custom field. The form is always at the end of the form. That's probably because the forms initially it was the app available on the marketplace. And the last one is just my opinion, but it still sometimes looks like extension, what is quite weird. It should be displayed more like a native feature in Jira. The next is a service catalog as assets. A very nice approach to create a service catalog are assets custom fields. I like it because assets can be managed by a dedicated team. They don't have to be a Jira admins. It's a very scalable solution. Adding new services, disabling all services is very simple. There's an extra data layer like assets attributes you can assign to assets item. And finally, assets attributes, assets generally, they can be managed by the REST API, which is also very cool if you have a very large assets database. There are also some downsides, like everywhere. So the basic one is you have to have JSM Premium. You plan to keep the portal for logged users only, and this is very, very important. So all customers, they have to be logged during reporting a request. So this approach will not work for the customer portal, which is open and you allow request creation for not logged users. You of course accept that each level will be a separate custom field, and again, like in the custom field standard concept, you can't hide unused levels. You can make the selection or list of the options available dependent on the previous selection, but you can't hide the entire field. But you can do it with the forms, of course. And next solution or next option will again stick with the custom fields, because that's the only way how we can customize the services. And it differs from the previous examples a little bit, because the main difference is that the entire service catalog in this example is part of just one custom field. And if you are familiar with the standard cascading select field, imagine the same, but with up to 7 levels. In this custom field, we have only one, there's only one, in this approach, we have only one custom field, of course. And is it a better solution? Well, I would say yes, because then all levels are stick to the one field, what makes the field management and searching a little bit easier. And from the downsides, the custom field has to be on the end of the form. That's the limitation of the Forge. And I have to mention that this custom field is part of one of our app that I highlight at the end. And to maintain the service catalog with this approach, you need to have the Jira permission, because it's a custom field. So to manage options, you need to go to the issues in the Jira administration. You saw the 4 options for the service catalog. So let's take a look at another 4 ideas that I prepared for you, and I think they are very, very cool. So let's see what we have. The request type permission. It's a long-awaited feature from Atlassian. They introduced it just a few weeks ago. It's about changing the visibility of the request type for given users and Jira groups. This allows to hide the sensitive request types for public and display them only for limited number of users. And there's also one thing that you need to remember about this solution. It works only for the Atlassian accounts. It doesn't matter if they are internal or external, there needs to be Atlassian accounts. It's a little bit weird and complex, but even if you have an external customer, to make this feature or to run this feature on this customer, you need to migrate the customer's account into the Atlassian account. So from the customer perspective, there's no big change, but this is the only way to add a customer, external customer, into the Jira group. The second idea or recommendation that you can use in your in your service catalog is the banner. So once you enable a service catalog on portal, keep in mind that sometimes the raw service name might not be enough to explain it to a customer. So sometimes customers would need more information about the service scope and other details. You can achieve this by a dedicated banner implemented also in one of our apps. And you can define many banners with different display conditions. So it could be even a separate banner for each request type. The third idea is very, very simple. It's about showing the user picker custom field in a portal in the read-only mode. In this context, I presented a service owner to make the customer aware who is responsible for the current service. And the last idea that I would like to share with you is also related to the banners, but in a different use case. Here, after the request that has been created, we use banners to inform customers about expected resolution time. Very simple, but like the previous ones, provides customer more information, more context regarding his ticket. And a quick reminder of what apps that have been used in this presentation. So it was the feature bundle and the multi-level select. So if you are interested in them, feel free to go to the marketplace page and give it a try. And this is this. Like, if you have any questions, I will be very happy to answer them. So I will check now if there are any. If not, then I'd like to thank you very much. It was a pleasure, of course, to present this topic to you. I hope that you learned something new. So let's go to the questions section. Let's see if we have any. We use this tool for the first time, so second time, but it's my first time. So hopefully I find the questions. There should be. We have only comments. Not sure if this is this. Okay, I don't see any questions right now. So if you have any questions later, you can mail me. You can raise the ticket at the Appsvio support, and we'll be very happy to answer them. So thank you very much, and see you on the next webinar with Appsvio. Okay, one question. I would go back to the applications names. So they are like depends on what feature you are asking for. I have used the feature bundle for the banners feature and displaying the user customer custom field of type user at the portal. And for the service catalog with up to 7 levels, we use the multi-level select. So this is the question. Okay, so I will wait here 1 or 2 minutes to see if there will be any questions. If no questions arrive, then I will close the webinar. Okay, we have one question from Kiran. So this is the question: how is this different from customer landing page? I think that you're talking about the portal. So all examples that I presented, they are based on the customer portal as well. So like a service desk as a top level, then the request type, and then a form with like fields and custom fields. So I use the same place of the JSM. I can also add to this question that, like, out of the box, like, you have a customer portal with some basic features, but there's an option to, of course, extend the portal with some features like I presented. So sometimes if you can't just find something in the JSM, maybe it was an app. Like, it's not only about the Appsvio webinars, but also it might apply to other webinars as well. Yes, we'll be sharing the entire presentation, and we can share the slides as well. So probably you will you will get the link to the presentation in after webinar mailing. Okay, so thank you very much again. And